it's just um, it's a constant thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never asked anyone anything sexual here at all. You know, I've never asked nobody their sexuality. I've never asked anybody anything, but because they don't know the difference between killers and undercover homosexuals, they show me all of this shit. The shit I'm telling you, they show it to me based on them not knowing the difference between a killer and an undercover homosexual. They just think it's all the same. So they show me all of this shit based on them being what they are. And it's like, well, I know who and what I am, so really all they doing is helping me identify them based on their behavior and their the patterns and their tendencies based on what they are. Because it's like, as I always, I make sure I'm very clear about this. 4 years ago, I couldn't have told you what an undercover homosexual male looks like without seeing him with another man. Like, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that shit. But now, I can do it. I can identify it now. But it's like 4 years ago, I couldn't do this shit. I've been around these dudes, and I'm looking now like I look back on videos, I look back on a lot of shit, and it's like, damn, I've been surrounded by this shit my whole life and didn't even fucking know it because no one benefited from being honest with me about the shit. You know, they all benefited from me being in the dark about the shit. So now that I know, everybody want to act like it's not a thing, and it's like, oh, bro, like, motherfucker can't play me out like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, um, I'm just, I'm just helping other people identify it because I know, just like me, at some point, if you don't see a person with the same sex, how else would you know? That's literally the indicator for most people. Is like you wouldn't know a person was a homosexual or not unless you seen them with the same sex. And then, furthermore, you wouldn't know a person was a homosexual or not if you see them with the opposite sex. That's the misconception. People think just because you see a person with the opposite sex that they're not a homosexual. Homosexual women benefit the most from being with men, not with other women. That's what people don't get. It benefits them the most to be with the opposite sex because they're manipulators and liars. They don't want to be um they don't want to be identified as a homosexual or a lesbian. So the easiest cover up for them would for them to be with a man. Because at the end of the day, they're only using a man for one thing anyway. So it's convenient, but it's like if you saw things from my perspective, or you saw what I see, or you see what I see, then like a lot of shit in this world will fuck you up as far as like relationships and marriage and all of that shit will really fuck you up. Like it, I don't lose faith in it because I know how I get down and how I move, and I know that's gonna get me the situation that's best for me. But I'm saying, like, when I see marriage and I see people in these relationships and shit based on what I see, it's like, man, I don't believe none of that shit. I don't believe it's real. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that that's an adequate depiction of love or an adequate depiction of a real relationship because I see what I see based on what people aren't obligated to tell you. You know, you don't have to. In this world, you're not. Well, in their world, I don't want to say this world. In their world, you're not obligated to disclose whether or not you're a homosexual. So it's like, if you see a woman with a man, automatically you assume that she's a heterosexual woman, but that's not the case. You know, like I said, everything in the gay community benefits the evil lesbian liar. Like it's all for her benefit. So, um, even if she doesn't, even if she doesn't engage in homosexuality with another female, it's still the evil, manipulating, lying behavior that's really the problem. It's not necessarily the act of homosexuality. It's who they choose to be, the people they are, because of what they got going on. So it's like, um, you don't necessarily have to see them with the opposite sex. No, you're not good at your